Global choice points, we're living one right now. Now, everybody's looking at 2012. 2012, if you read those prophecies of the Mayans and the Tibetans and the Hopi, if you read the prophecies of Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, they say 2012 is the beginning of the new world. And for it to be the beginning, it means what? All the changes have to happen between now and 2012. 2012, I think, is going to be a non-event. Because everything's got to happen before then. You get what I'm saying here? I believe that we are in for a powerful, beautiful, precious ride over these next few years. Global choice points, where are they? What I've done for the brevity of our evening is I've gone back and looked at a couple of pivotal events that define our world and our lives as they are today from the 20th century. Seed events from the 20th century. Like the 1929 crash of the economic system. When does that cycle repeat? Wouldn't you like to know that? We're going to look at this right now. Now, when I wrote the book Fractal Time, what I know is that some people, and probably nobody in here, but I know some people don't like mathematics. But you all like math, right? No, I know. Some people don't like math in their books when they're reading them. So I put all the math at the end of the book in the appendices. But what I found is some people don't even want math in the appendices. They don't want math in their book anywhere. So I took the very simple, natural algorithms, automated them onto our website in what is now being called a time code calculator. The calculator allows us to calculate cycles of time very simply using one of 3 different modes. If you're looking at personal cycles, by the way, you use mode number 3, but the instructions are on the side. We're going to use mode number 1. Mode number 1 answers the question, when can we expect the conditions of the past to happen again? If we can identify the seed events for the 20th century that define our world today, when do those cycles repeat? You okay if we do this? Yeah. All right, so it's very easy. Mode, we're going to put number 1 in here. The cycle is the present world age cycle, 5,125 years. The seed are the dates that we're going to answer. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Future trigger dates. First time global economics collapsed, I think probably would all agree, was 1929. The 1929 crash. You okay with that if we use that as a seed date for global economic collapse? So let's do this. Mode number 1, the cycle here is 5,125 years. The seed for the collapse was the year 1929. Now I need you all to help. Put your fingers up in the air and help me push that go button. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. We need lots of fingers. 1, 2, 3. All right, go. Okay, so the next date you see is when we can expect the conditions of 1929 to repeat. It doesn't mean it has to crash. It means the conditions are present. But then we're going to talk about what we can say to those conditions, how we can vote through coherence, through our hearts. Okay? 1929, the next date that we can expect is the year 2010. The 4th fractal is the year 2010. Doesn't mean it has to happen. It's when the conditions cycle around and they're present again. What was the first date that history will show where there was a surprise attack on American soil? 1941. And you can work this down to the month. Well, I'm using year right here, 1941. All right. That is a seed date for surprise and attack on American soil. When I was writing the book, this was the first example that I chose to work with myself, and it may come as no surprise to you that September 11th, 2001 is precisely on the 3rd fractal of 1941. Now, I'm not saying that we could have predicted it, but I'm saying we could have known there was a time maybe to use some extra sensitivity and maybe a little heart in the global fields of this planet. When can we expect that cycle to repeat? The conditions. Doesn't mean the event has to happen. It means the conditions are present. Mode number 1, 5125 is the cycle length, 1941. Let's push go. 1, 2, 3, go. That comes up 2010. Got a big year coming up. This is good news. I'm going to ask that no one get up until I finish this, because if you do, you're going to leave in the middle of the scary stuff. But this is frightening stuff. And if you all get up and leave at the same time, you light up all my abandonment issues, and then it's a whole different workshop. We don't even want to go into that one. Okay? World War, we just did this. 1914 is the first year we experienced global war on this planet. Don't be fooled by the last two. We plugged that in. Mode number 1, 5,125 years. Seed date 1914. What does that look like? 2011. So what are we saying here? And there are many other dates. There are a lot of good things. Good things. We don't usually get stuck. We don't get stuck in patterns of joy. They don't bring about joyous crises in our lives. So we're looking at some of the defining events of our lives. We're looking at trigger dates, 1929, 1941, 1914. If those are trigger dates and the cycle's complete, then what does that mean? With the completion brings what? A choice point. That means every one of these is a choice point. This means within the next 12 to 18 months of your life and my life, while we're driving back and forth to work and making dinner for the kids and going to the soccer games and watching the last episode of Dancing with the Stars, I don't know where that came from. It means that you and I also have the opportunity, the rare and precious opportunity, to be the first generation in 26,000 years to experience the return cycle of the defining events of the last century that set into motion the course of energy that can forever end everything that we cherish in this world, but we get to change it. Because every one of these is a choice point. I believe this generation, you and I, the people of this world, are ready for more than the suffering of the last century. Ready for more than the war and the disease and the economic disparity. Because of that, I believe that we are about to walk away from the habit of war to solve our differences. And it's going to happen within these next 12 to 18 months, 2 years. We're not going to see the kinds of wars we've seen in the past. Something awesome and amazing is about to happen. I believe this generation is going to walk away from claiming the kind of economy that is based on ever-expanding markets where someone gets rich only at someone else's expense.